It's all coming out. What I'm about to reveal about Charlie Kirk's assassination will completely change how you see the radicalization crisis destroying America. The legacy media did everything they possibly could to bury the most shocking details, but after diving through dozens of sources, court documents, and FBI reports, we got the truth they're desperately trying to hide. Make sure to stick with me to the very end of this video, because we're not just going to expose this assassin's social media history. We're going to see precisely what's being done to end this scourge of radical leftist terrorism once and for all. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you make sense of the madness as the far left desperately tries to stop the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age all over the world that you are making possible. So if you want a front row seat on how you're changing the world in ways you never even imagined, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We are now learning more and more about the social media history of Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old Utah resident accused of gunning down Charlie Kirk last week at Utah Valley University. We now know that Robinson was living with his transgender furry boyfriend, Lance Twiggs, who we are now learning was an open Biden supporter who posted, "We are riding with Biden" on this glorious subreddit on Reddit back in 2022. His own family and friends described him as, quote, "full of evil and hatred." And they had to cut all ties with him due to his constant hostility toward conservative ideals and Christian values. His own family members revealed to Fox News that Twiggs hates conservatives and he hates Christians. And they admitted that they were afraid that he might hurt someone based on the things he would say to family members. Most damning of all, those closest to him directly blamed Twiggs for Robinson's radicalization. As for Robinson, we're now discovering that he had active accounts on furry websites featuring sexualized animal characters. Now, remember, there were ammo casings that were discovered by authorities that contained the phrase "notice bulges," which is a popular furry internet meme. There are now reports that Robinson's social media footprint reveals a very disturbing journey from, frankly, mainstream Republican household to a radical leftist assassin through online gaming communities and furry and trans subcultures. Now, despite being raised by a relatively conservative family, Robinson's Discord messages obtained by investigators show him joking about his doppelganger trying to get him in trouble and claiming that he had a manifesto, an exact copy rifle lying around just hours before his arrest. His digital presence spanned multiple platforms, from fur affinity accounts featuring sexualized cartoon animal characters that matched his gaming usernames to Discord servers where he operated under closed digital spaces that function as what investigators have called basically breeding grounds for groupthink and coordination and radicalization. Federal investigators discovered that Robinson had been heavily radicalized online through these echo chambers, with his online history overflowing with left-wing propaganda, extreme rhetoric, anti-Christian, anti-conservative radicalism. The most chilling detail, Robinson's Discord communications revealed that he had discussed the rifle used in the assassination and admitted to hiding it under foliage wrapped in a towel before the attack. Utah Governor Spencer Cox has confirmed that Robinson was deeply indoctrinated with leftist ideology based on family and FBI briefings. And now the social media history is leading investigators to determine whether Charlie Kirk's assassination was actually part of a larger trans-inspired cell network that Robinson was merely one part of. The New York Post is reporting that officials are actively investigating the extent to which Robinson's online communities knew about the attack before it happened. If that's the case, and it's growing increasingly clear that it was, this obviously then wasn't spontaneous rage. This was premeditated political assassination fueled by years of leftist radicalization through gaming communities and dark internet culture. So we may indeed be dealing with a murderous trans-terrorist cell here. We'll have to see how things play out in the days ahead. But this is what is being actively investigated as we speak, according to the New York Post. And obviously, this is not the news that the legacy media wanted you to hear. They've been doing absolutely everything they possibly can to cover this up. In fact, the left is in overdrive to try to paint Robinson as a MAGA supporter who killed Charlie Kirk because he wasn't right-wing enough. I kid you not. I mean, nobody's buying it, obviously, but even a Harvard professor just recently was trying to push this nonsense of late. I mean, this professor's getting utterly savaged online. But it shows you the desperation on the left, and that they know that if the truth about Charlie's assassination goes mainstream, which it is doing already, we're seeing it on the NFL billboards, right? I mean, I think there were only 4 or 5 NFL teams over the weekend that did not feature a moment of silence for Charlie. This is going everywhere. Everyone's seeing what's happened. They know that if the truth about Charlie's assassination goes mainstream, the left is done in this country. This will be the turning point. This will be the point of no return, the final straw. They know they're done. They know they're over. That's why the left is doing everything they possibly can to try to destroy Charlie and his reputation and his family and us. But it's all totally futile. It is all for naught. The amazing news is that we have truth on our side. And we don't just have truth. We've got Trump. With the return of Trump, we are the ones now in power. We are the ones who now have the full constitutionally determined executive power in our hands. We are the ones who will determine the future of this nation. And we, freedom-loving Americans, are now the ones who can finally take control of our financial flourishing. You know, after 4 long years of the Biden economic winter, we are now finally ready to reap the springtide of economic flourishing in the new golden age. And there's simply no